Okay, some intense Trader Joe's excitement. So first we have these hold the corn appetizers. So it's netted rice cones filled with, you know, corn and stuffs. Very excited. I didn't even know that those were rice yet. It's kind of cool. Okay, I got this again, the tot casserole. So good. It's already quite good microwaved. And then when you do the oven version, oh my God, like so delicious. Get this. It's great for 2 people if you want to like split it and then like have another like item. I mean, it's, sorry, really, really good. This is a repurchase. You guys saw this. Oh, it is so good. I remember, yeah, I did review it for you guys. So delicious. This is also new, mini brie. So brie wrapped in puff pastry. Sounds simple, but probably will be super delicious. I love brie, and so much brie comes out around the holidays. Anything with brie just in the oven is just so yummy. Also new, stuffed gnocchi, and it's the, is it this the inside out one? Oh yeah, outside in. So you have it stuffed with the tomato sauce and mozzarella on the inside instead of having it as your sauce and like topping. So interesting concept, like it, enjoying the visual. I haven't had it yet. And then 2 of the usual suspects, the paneer tikka masala and the korma fish curry. Round 2. Hibiscus lemongrass sparkling. When I saw this on Instagram, I got really excited. I'm like, these are flavors I like. I like both of these things extra mucho. I will let you know what I think. They have glazed sour cream donuts. I usually enjoy a sour cream donut. I wasn't like, oh my God, about these, but I guess I haven't tried them. Like, we have to like microwave them for a hot second, like, you know, look, that 15-20 second thing. I'll try that out. Probably just melt everything. I mean, probably won't repurchase, but they're okay. They're not bad by any means. Like, I will finish them. The Trader Joe's Nutty Praline Trio. So described as almonds, cashews, and pecans, clustered with caramel and dark chocolate. This is the look. So, ooh, oh, like, oh, I see. I thought they put them like all together, so it's like separate ones. Okay, I like that. In case like you don't like a certain nut. Okay, haven't tried this. This was a little expensive. It was over $5, so we'll see if this was good. I have 2 of the rose fingerling potatoes. I had bought these before, but I didn't share my thoughts with you. They are so good. So if you had tried like the Peruvian ones where there was like 3 colors in them and you thought those were a little too earthy, these, you'll love these. If like you're only like, you know, what's the word? If your only issue with those was that they tasted a little too like farm to table, then yes, you'll like this. I don't know if that was like the right term, but you know what I mean. 1 of the lightly salted kettle chips. And then this, I had gone to Trader Joe's and then someone messaged me like, did you get this? And I'm like, no, I did not. So I looked for it this time specifically, and I'm excited to try it. Black truffle sauce. Okay, so it is Saturday morning. I have just come back from taking Sumo to the vet. And so, I mean, eye makeup's pretty cute, but everything else is like kind of whatever. I feel a little lackluster because I've been rained on. We didn't do the hair, but it actually doesn't look horrible. You just have like a lot of like these pieces, you know, attractive. Okay, so makeup. Tarte Face Tape Foundation. I really like this foundation. My shade is light medium sand. Obviously when this was released, there was, you know, initially released, backlash, not enough shades. We all totally get it. They were canceled, everyone hated them. But let's just not act like they're the only brand to have done that. I understood everyone's anger, but it was as if this had been building in you for a while. It's like it was just unleashed on them. And I'm not saying Tarte, I'm not like not taking their side. I'm just saying, you know, that was rough to watch happen. And I have like a lot of thoughts on like why this happens sometimes. Sometimes I think when it's a smaller brand, it is harder to come out with a whole bunch of shades. But then I also feel like then maybe wait until your brand grows to release a complexion item. Obviously Tarte is not a small company. I don't know what happened there. I'm not really sure about the reasoning behind it. I know that, you know, a lot of people who are upset and angry had a lot to say. And I mean, it's died down, obviously. Anyway, when this was released again, I really, again, didn't really consider it again. But I think Ulta must have done like a promotion on it. So I grabbed it and I really like this foundation. I wish they would come out with like, do they have like a face tape concealer? Because while I like Shape Tape, it is very, I don't like it under the eyes, and I want to be able to have something maybe like this formulation as a concealer under my eyes, because I think I would really enjoy it. But it gives almost full coverage on me, so I think most people would really like this. It is thin, it has coverage, it just wears really well on me. I really like it. It's like a really good foundation. For concealer and the under eyes, we did Jeffree Star Peach Corrector. If you have picked this up on a recommendation or plan on it, use very little. It is very pigmented, and I do think it could look cakey if you put too much on. So definitely use it sparingly, especially if you're gonna go over it with a concealer or a foundation, you know? I wanted to pull out a drugstore thing. I have a few drugstore items in here because I feel like I was going very high end, not on purpose, just was what I was grabbing for. And like those were kind of the purchases that were coming in as far as Black Friday goes. I feel like when there is a sale, obviously go for like higher ticket items. Don't buy like drugstore stuff on sale because like the sale isn't like amazing. Anyway, ramble. I'm like hating my hair right now, just so you guys know. I'm just like, you know, being on YouTube makes you so hyper critical of yourself, and it's just not okay. Okay, so concealer is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. I have the shade C8. I have it under the eyes today. I think it's really pretty. I think it's really nice. I think it behaves a little bit like the Makeup Forever Self Setting, a little bit like maybe the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion, maybe a little bit like the Smashbox concealer that I like. So now when they first released the more matte version, it was supposed to be, I don't think they marketed it as necessarily, but it did come out looking a lot like Tarte's Shape Tape. So I know I have my whole spiel about Makeup Revolution, and like I don't buy the items that are blatant copies of anything, but I feel like every brand came out with a concealer that was piggybacking off of the success and claims of Tarte Shape Tape. So when they came out with their version of this, I wasn't really thinking anything of it. I'm sorry, my heat is coming on. So now the Hydrate version, I really like this. I did not like the matte version. I had a really hard time finding my shade. It was like a summer, and I vaguely remember just vlogging about it to you guys. How I like for a couple weeks I kept trying to find my shade, and I just like gave up because it, like the formula wasn't so amazing that I had to get it. And for a little bit, sometimes when something's very popular, you think, okay, if I just find the right shade, because sometimes it really is just a matter of finding the right shade. But for me, it wasn't that. I like this concealer. I have it under the eyes. Oh, we have to talk about these brows. Like, I am not okay with this. So don't, if you've been like judging my brows, I have words to share with you. But I like this concealer. It is really nice. I am having like one spot of milia right here that's like driving me insane, and I've been like trying to soothe it, make it move through the... Okay, battery died. I get no warning. Okay guys, actually I have something to tell you. I got a new camera. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So I have a spot of milia. I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera. I mean, I can see it because it's like right here, but you would have to like search for it. But I've been adding some glycolic acid on top of it every night, and then putting like my eye cream on, but it is kind of moving it through the process faster, but it's just causing texture issues under my eyes for me that I don't like. It's like one little bump that looks really gross to me. So where were we? Yes, concealer good. Jen said concealer good. Okay. NARS Soft Matte Concealer in Macadamia for any kind of face blemish situations. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder. I have this in the shade Beige L4. I swatched this today. Usually I don't swatch it. I just like, you know, put it in on my face. I don't really think much about it. But when I felt it, it felt exactly like the Charlotte Tilbury powder, and I was a little surprised by that. I haven't done like a side-by-side feel test or whatever, but Oh, that's a really good match for me because you don't even see it. Okay, anyway, so while Charlotte Tilbury was on my mind, I was like, let me pull out some of her products. So I'm bronzer today. We have the, what do they call these? The Filmstar Bronze and Glows. I have both shades, and I use one for bronzer and the other one to do like more contouring today. So I have the light and the dark. Clearly at some point I use this obsessively. It is really good. I really like it. I feel like sometimes there's more mixed reviews on this. Maybe people who don't like as much, who want a lot more pigmented items, don't like these, but I think they're really good. I wish I would use this highlighter more often, but I've kind of like not been into like highlighter as much lately. So, but it's really pretty, and it's also the kind of powder you could buff onto your skin after you're done with your makeup to make it kind of glowy and fairy-like. And the highlight in the darker one is a really beautiful blush on me. When I do choose to wear blush and I happen to have this palette out, I will use it. They all go really well together. If you go on vacation, you get a tan, this is like, this is good. For eyeshadow today, I have the Natasha Denona Mini Nude. And I have this shade on, and I have this shade on. I use this shade for the inner corner highlight. I also pulled out my Metropolis palette, and I used this shade. I think this is my favorite palette from her. I'm gonna show you guys the ones I have, and I really think there's probably one that I could probably, at least one that I can probably declutter, because you just don't need all of her palettes, because there are repetitive shades, similar shades. And I also brought in the Marc Jacobs Omega Oh Yeah shadow today, just kind of like all over as like a blending shade. I did actually do a full plum eye yesterday, and I didn't like it, or it took me a lot of work. This side of my face is having a hard time holding color. For a while, at least like I feel like the majority of this year I've noticed this. When I put bronzer on, there's areas that just skip. And I'm like, is there like texture there? Is the skin not smooth? Is there something just different about certain areas of my face that I'm not noticing? And I keep looking at it and I just don't see any difference, but like bronzer just skips right over it. And then lately, for the past couple weeks, I've just noticed this area right here does not want to hold eyeshadow. If you have ever heard of this, if this happens to you, do you have a fix? I really don't know. I've tried using primers. I'll use like I tend to use like colored primers, like a eye crayon. So I might try something like Urban Potion. Something like a non-colored base, or like a product that's meant to be an eyeshadow base, because I have a hard time blending this whole area all the time. So if you've noticed, that's why. Yeah. So I didn't like the eye yesterday because it looked like I had a full smoke here, and then on this side it's like the smoke just like stopped and I could not get more to happen. So here's swatches. Here's the 3 Natasha Denona Mini Nude shades. That's the green I pulled in as kind of a liner on the top lid, and then this is the Marc Jacobs Omega, and those are the 2 swatches of the Charlotte Tilbury bronzers. And of course they're beautiful, the lighter one and the darker one. I mean, you can clearly see like the Natasha Mini Nude. I went pretty heavy with kind of that like burgundy brick red down there, and I like it. Okay, moving on. For the lips, I have 2 of these Dr. Pawpaw natural, what do they say, multi-purpose soothing balms. So I love the original, and I saw these at TJ Maxx. So you can get these by themselves. They're kind of like larger tubes. They're $2.99 at TJ Maxx. And then if they have these trios, I think there was a trio for $7.99, and it came with this orange, a pink, and then the yellow, which is like unoriginal, like there's no color. They very, very loosely use the words hint of tint, which I don't know if they know what hint means, but do you see these shades? I have this blotted all over the lip, and then I have a little bit of this in the center on the top lip and the bottom lip, but that is not a hint of tint. And yes, they blend out, but not a lot. Like, look at that orange, like, right? Okay, so you can use these on your lips, cheeks, cosmetic finishing. So, I mean, I like it on the lips. I do really like using this alone, the brown one, because then you get that like 90s lip, and it's very nude and brown and cool and looks good. But I felt like adding just a little bit of this because eye makeup was quite warm. I didn't even finish telling you guys about the eye makeup. MAC Costa Riche on the lower waterline, and then MAC their brush stroke liner as the liquid liner. Lastly, let's talk about these brows. I showed you guys, I hauled these Glossier brow flicks for you, and I've used them a couple times, and I explained to you my first impressions maybe sometime last week, this week, I don't know. This Vlogmas thing is making, it's like blurring in my brain a little bit. I think these are very good for someone that's probably not me. So, okay, let's break it down. If you only use a brow pen to do your brows, this is amazing. If you have like a fuller brow and you want to fill in or perfect, also really, really great for you. If you are like me and you use a pencil or a powder, and I think it's more so the pencil, if you want to use multiple products on your brows, including this one, it's just not gonna play well with the other products, because I think that the formula of this is like a combination of a brow pen and a brow gel. It sets and it's thicker and it doesn't really move. So obviously if you're just drawing your brows in with this alone, it's excellent. But for me, I just end up getting a little bit of like clumpiness. It looks like really thick and like blotchy. If you can see today, like I like full on really tried to like give it a good go, and it's just not for me. And like this lighting probably isn't helping. I'm sorry, should I step back? So from far away it looks all right, but yeah, I'm kind of sad because I really thought I could like these, and I think they're really, really good for someone else, just not for me. If I ever maybe got my eyebrows microbladed, then maybe I could try these out again and I would like it, but I can't just use this alone, even though I think it's a quality, top-notch, really great product for someone else. Let's talk about new camera. So this camera, we've seen a lot. I have trouble focusing it a lot whenever, you can also hear all the sounds. So I wanted to get a camera that would autofocus really properly, as well as not pick up all the excess noise. Okay, Natasha Denona. This is the Safari, the Gold, and the Biba, and lastly the Metropolis. I think the Metropolis strikes me as a combination between the three of these, and maybe even way less so the Safari. And it's probably the one I use the least because I don't use like this row. I use those two more or less. And this, again, if you've seen this before, it always looks like it's like three of the same color, but it is in fact quite, I mean, I really love this palette. And then the Biba is probably the one I used the most before getting the Metropolis. Metropolis has all the greens that I really love. If there would have just been like a smattering of like purples that I like, this would have been so perfect. So I'm thinking of just decluttering the Safari palette, even though like this center area, these 6 shades are like super love for me. I really don't use these that much. I use this one. I definitely don't use this except for that. And then it's just, you know, so I'm going to declutter that one. And it would make sense maybe to declutter this one, but I can't, not at this point in time, because I do still reach for it and I love it. Like on like neutral, natural days, I do like this one. Hey, do you guys like this hair? Anyway, I was editing this video and I had mentioned stuff about a new camera and then I didn't talk about it at all. So I bought a new camera because you guys have been seeing, I think, I complain about it every so often. This camera, the focusing, not so super great. And then I want an external mic because I'm always getting excess noise so I can control the sound a little bit more. So I picked one up. However, my fault for doing this. I sent it to my mom's house because, you know, her tax is cheaper where she lives, so I like to send larger purchases there. But the signature was required, so it got rerouted to be delivered again. So I have rerouted it to a CVS so that I can go pick it up. But, so this was all yesterday. I thought I could go get it today, but then they're like, now they're like Monday. So now I'm like, I was gonna film all these videos this weekend using the new camera to test it out and like work it out. But it's not happening. I'm still gonna film all the videos I wanted to film on this camera to prepare for next week's vlogs. Also, hope you're okay with this. I don't know if you guys are like bored of the makeup yet, but I'm bored of kind of filming it. It's like repetitive to me a little bit. So there'll also be makeup sharing, but I think I'm gonna do more hauls because a lot more of the Black Friday stuff has actually come in. Can you take me seriously when I have my hair like this? Like, am I a grown woman talking about real adult things? So yeah, next week, less makeup, more hauling. I think we're good, right? So yeah, and I also want to film by the day bed. Like the mattress is inflated. I can like sit on it like properly. It's like, I just really want to film there because I want like new locations to film. And anyway, whatever, rambles, you get it. See you next week or tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow and next week.